Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Cosmere SMP. This is a modded Minecraft Let's Play where we're playing on a server that I have set up using a mod pack that I have put together. So this mod pack was inspired by a specific mod called the Allomancy mod. The Allomancy mod is based around a book series by an author named Brandon Sanderson. In these books, it's a fantasy series, so certain characters have a special kind of magic, and this mod brings that kind of magic into Minecraft. When you spawn into the world, you are assigned one of 16 different kinds of, they're called mistings, where you get different abilities based on that. As you go through the game, you can start to try to find this thing right here, which gives you access to all 16 of the abilities. So with this mod pack, I decided to take this mod and add to it. And the mods that I decided to add in are all kind of loosely inspired by different books in Brandon's Cosmere, which is his overarching universe of interconnected books. So there are multiple book series that take place on different planets at different times, and they're all connected to each other in this overarching universe called the Cosmere. So the mods that I have picked are kind of, aside from the Allomancy mod, which is a one-to-one relationship. That Allomancy mod comes from the Mistborn, the Final Empire trilogy. Mistborn, the Final Empire, Mistborn, Well of Ascension, Mistborn, Hero of Ages. There we go. It's been a while. Other books have different kinds of magic. So, for instance, the Elantris book by Brandon Sanderson, it also exists in the Cosmere. That is a magic based around symbols and symbology. So I decided that the Astral Sorcery mod really kind of reflected that. There is a world in which color and life are very important and very key to the magic system, so I decided that Botania, the Botania mod, would be really relevant, especially in that color aspect. You can see just looking at JEI how colorful Botania can get. The Stormlight Archive, I actually have two mods in here that kind of gave me, I guess the best word is vibes from Stormlight Archive. Silence Gems, which add a whole bunch of new gemstones in to Minecraft, which can be used to craft weapons, and more specifically, I was thinking gear for shard plate. I also have Mystical Agriculture in here for growing crops that give you resources. That it's also somewhat Stormlighty, gave me some Stormlight vibes. And then I do have one tech mod, which is Immersive Engineering, which I thought was kind of steampunky, which is somewhat reminiscent of the second trilogy in the Mistborn world, which is the Alloy of Law trilogy, which gives, essentially looks at what happens a certain time period, on the same world, but in a different time period, in like a Wild West steampunk era. So those are some of the mods that I have in here. As far as what mods you are interested in, you can do whatever, but I tend to enjoy these kind of mod packs that are somewhat light because it allows me to really go in depth into specific mods. So that's going to do it for this little intro here. Oh, it's night already. So one of the things that I was thinking about doing for this first episode is just going over some of the general quality of life mods and things that you should do. Why is there a waypoint? Hold on. Let me delete the waypoint. And there's another way. I must have hit a button or something. Or my dog did, because my dog is right in my face right now, trying to get love and attention. There we go. So the first episode here, we're going to focus on just different kinds of quality of life mods that are in this mod pack so that you can get an idea for how to just make your life a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and cut here and hop over to my very, 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 very much a work in progress base, and we'll catch up with some of those quality of life mods. And we are back. So here we are over in my starter base. Okay, I know what's going on. So here we are over in my starter base, which is this cove right here. I picked this area because, well, one, I decided to run pretty far away from spawn and set up a starter base up here. And then I started to get into the Astral Sorcery mod, and this space right here was just a lot better for doing Astral Sorcery. So I decided to set up my base here. I'm kind of redesign this cove here and build up all of my Astral Sorcery stuff around this cove. And I'm going to rename it the Starlight Cove just because I thought that was cute. But anyways, over here is spawn. So, you know, I like exploring and getting kind of far out there and just off in my own space. You know, there's a village nearby, which is nice. There is an ocean temple right off the coast, so that'll be fun to take down. Now, as far as these quality of life mods, the first one you can see right in front of you is storage drawers. So storage drawers is one of my favorite mods. You make drawers by taking chests and wood. I apologize for this being an absolute mess. It's very, very temporary. And you take them over here into a crafting table and you can craft up a drawer. So one chest like so can make one storage drawer, which holds 32 stacks per drawer. You can also make different sized storage drawers and different shaped storage drawers. So right here would be a drawer that is that can actually hold 2 different items. I typically do the one, don't judge my crafting, it's messy. I usually do this one, which is a 2x2, just because it allows me to hold a whole bunch of different items in a very small space. They do have different sizes, so this one can only hold 8 stacks per drawer, so that's not a lot of storage, but you can actually upgrade the storage. So I've had to do that once already, if you look here. So I can, just one storage upgrade can increase it by 32 times, and you can have multiple storage upgrades. So that would be my first kind of quality of life mod that I would recommend you get into. Each different base wood type has different storage drawers. It would help if I could spell. So, you know, you could use oak, you could use spruce like I did, you can use jungle, dark oak, acacia, birch, you know, whatever. There are these different upgrades. There's also the drawer controller. This is a little bit harder to get because you do need quartz and a diamond, but it allows you to, let's say that I have, you know, a whole bunch of different things in my inventory. So I've got some diorite, I've got some oak planks. They all exist here in my drawer, so I could, you know, right click on each individual one and put the item back, or let me get some more junk out. If I hold right click on the drawer controller, it cleans out all of my inventory of everything that it's connected up to. These are not connected because I didn't bother connecting them. I could connect them that way. And then, you know, things that I put in can make their way into their correct spot. So it's just a great way to organize yourself. I plan on actually having a wall of storage or a room of storage that is organized by type. So all of the nether things in one area, all of my astral sorcery stuff in another, all of my gems in another, but I really just needed to put them down so I could look around. So that's my first quality of life mod that I would suggest you check out. The next two are actually really, really simple. F7. So F7, that's the default key binding, shows you mob spawning. All of those X's are spots that mobs could spawn at. So I can light them up. So it's a great way to help you light up your base and figure out, you know, without having to press F3 and, you know, keep an eye on the light level. You can just press F7 and go around and get rid of all the X's. I do believe that there are red X's when the light level, so like yellow X's are about the sky light level and red X's are about the block level, or vice versa. Essentially, like yellow will spawn at night, red will spawn during the day. So sometimes it's nice to just keep F7 on, or it might make your game a little laggy, so turn it off when you're not using it. So that would be my first really easy quality of life mod. The next one is tree harvesting. So I don't have ore excavation on this mod pack, but I do have whole tree harvesting. So if you hold shift and you mine out the bottom block of a tree, it will knock down the entire tree. And it will also replant a sapling. Now, sometimes you might not want it to replant a sapling, so I would recommend you then hold shift and do the block right above, because then it will try to replant the sapling, but it can't. And then you can just mine out the last block. So that's honestly the nicest mod in this pack, in my opinion, because you can get wood so easy early on. You do need to have an axe. You cannot use your fist, so you do need an axe in order to do it. The other mod that, actually, other two or three things that I would say are really useful come out of Silence Gems. The first of which are these urns. So these soul urns are essentially craftable shulker boxes that you can make pretty early on. In order to do it, you need some terracotta. So I usually just go looking in streams, there we go, for some clay. You'll need 7 terracotta, which we will toss in a furnace. I mean, if you're lucky enough to spawn near a mesa, that'd be great, but we're not always that lucky. You also need a silence gem, so I'm going to pick this morganite because I have a lot of it. Actually, I'm going to get another one for later. And then the last thing you're going to need is a soul gem. So these soul gems come from just killing any mobs. They can be hostile mobs, they can be friendly mobs, it doesn't matter. Just killing mobs gets you these soul gems. And that can be used with the gem and the terracotta to make the soul urn. So actually, I want to dye this. So let me, kind of like shulker boxes, you can dye them, but you need to dye the terracotta. So that means you need to make 8 terracotta. A little annoying, but such is life, c'est la vie. The other, so here we go. I will keep focus. So we make magenta terracotta. We make a U of terracotta with the soul gem and then a regular gem, and that gives you the soul urn. You can rename the soul urn, kind of like these ones over here. Just in case you leave them lying around, someone on the server can help you get it back. So That's the first thing. The second thing is mining with silenced gems is really, really, really obnoxious because there are so many different gems. There are 16 gems per dimension, so 16 gems for the overworld, 16 gems for the nether, 16 gems for the end. Because there are all those gems, while you're mining, it can really clutter up your inventory really quickly. So that's where the gem bag comes into play. Hold on one second. Let me try to get my dog to lay down. I'm playing on the bed, and he thinks that means it's time for cuddles. That should be enough. Or is it? Okay, let's see if this is enough. So the gem bag, you need to make some gilded string, which is just 3 string and 6 gold nuggets. You will also need, there we go, 6 wool. So the wool, or 5 wool. The wool in this little U, kind of like an upside down helmet, with any silent gem, doesn't matter, and the gilded string on top makes you a gem bag. So I already have one right here. It acts like almost a backpack for these gems. It works with silence gems. It also works with the vanilla gems. So like diamonds and emeralds and quartz and lapis. Redstone is not considered a gem for some reason. I disagree, but oh well. So as soon as, so here's an example. There is the gem. Normally, if I were to pick it up, it would go into my open slot on my hotbar. But here I pick it up, and it doesn't go into my hotbar. It doesn't even go into my inventory at all. It jumps straight into my gem bag. So that is really useful, really simple. I always keep my gem bag on me, and then I can empty it out when I get back from mining. The last thing that is useful coming from silence gems, I mean, there's a lot that's useful coming from silence gems, but as far as starting off the game, you should have a bunch of blueprints. It should actually come as one item, and then you open it up. When you use these blueprints to make, let's say I'm going to make let's make a machete. Not exactly sure what the recipe is. So in order to use this, you will need some silence gems. You could also use emeralds, or not emeralds, diamonds. Well, can you use emerald? Yes, you can use emerald. You'll see how it says S gear material, and you hold left control, you can actually see all of the stats. So I'm going to use, what am I going to use? Garnet? Sure. I mean, you could take a lot of time and just like figure out what has the best stat. Yeah, we'll use garnet, why not? And then I will get some iron to make more tool rods. So to craft some of these, you will need a rod. I thought that was iron, it's aluminum. My arm's down here. There we go. So I'm going to craft an iron rod. I then put the iron rod, the machete template, and then garnets into the crafting table, and we can create a garnet machete, or a garnet. Here I have a diamond pickaxe, a topaz axe, a ruby shovel. The interesting thing, the useful thing, is the traits. So here it has fiery 2, brittle 1, and then magnetic. Magnetic is a really useful trait, especially if you're mining, or just in general. It can be a little obnoxious sometimes when you're trying to like throw away items and they keep coming back to you. But in general, I like having magnetic on my tools. It allows you to just attract any items that are nearby. There is a range, but I found that it's a pretty big range. If you are holding shift, you actually don't use the magnetic ability. But then when you release shift, they're attracted. So I like it. I think it's useful. You might not be a fan of the ability, but I will do an episode later on about silence gems and how you can use them to make some really interesting gear. But I thought that was just a pretty simple quality of life mod or pretty simple bit about the mod that I would consider a quality of life upgrade. There we go. Those are words. The last mod that I would say is really a quality of life mod is the gravestone mod. So if you die, you will leave behind a gravestone, which will actually save all of your gear. It also saves the slot in which you had the gear. So when you are able to find your gravestone and you break your gravestone open, you can get all of your gear back in the same slot that it was in before. So it's really simple for kind of recovery. I will say that falling into a lava lake is probably the only way you can die that's really obnoxious, other than maybe falling into the void if you're in the end. Because I have had it where I died in lava before with this gravestone mod, and my gravestone appeared under the surface of the lava, so then I had to like drop gravel down, and it was a whole thing. So just be careful when you're over lava. It doesn't destroy your items, but it does make it a little bit more difficult to get to them. So I think that is it. Oh, one last thing. I haven't done any farming in a while, but the watering can. So the recipe for the watering can is really simple, especially early on. You right-click the watering can on a water source, and you can then use it to accelerate the growth of any crops nearby. I believe this one is a 3x3, but you can, as you go up in mystical agriculture, you can actually get bigger and bigger and bigger watering cans that can do a larger area. So watering can, like an 11x11 area is the max, it looks like. So I think that's about it for these quality of life upgrades in this mod pack. So I did mention that this is a server. This is an SMP, Survival Multiplayer server. The information for how to get into this server, because I'm going to make this server semi-public, so you don't have to do much to join the server if that's what you're interested in. I'm going to put the information to join down in the description below. It is linked to a Discord, so you do have to join the Discord for the SMP. You'll agree to the rules and how to play, and then you will be given the information for how to get onto the server. We do have a few rules here. They're pretty standard rules, I would say. If I had to summarize the rules, I would just say, don't be a dick. But I do go a little bit more into depth than that. Be respectful to other players. Everyone's here to have fun. Be polite to other players and respect their work. No flaming and no griefing. Pranks should be additive. Example, filling someone's base with fence posts. A prank should not destroy or remove someone's base and should not use TNT. Murder is frowned upon. Of course, there are no real repercussions to killing someone in the game, but try not to, spawn camp. Watch the lag. Keep all builds within 3,000 blocks of 0, 0. That rule is just so that if the world's file gets too big, I can cut it down. So if you go off, 10,000 blocks and build something, that's fine. Just let me know. If you're going to build really laggy redstone machines or intricate machinery, try to keep them away from the spawn chunks and away from other people's builds. And then have fun. All build styles are welcome. There are no specific areas for specific types of build. Try to give other people their space. Be respectful of that, but just try to have fun. So those are the rules. You'll agree to those rules. You'll be given the information to join the SMP, and I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all make, because I'm not terribly inspired right now, as my vanilla world Let's Play I was talking about. I'm trying to, see what I can do about getting some inspiration back. Let me see if I can go up. I do have this teleporting system from Astral Sorcery that I'm playing around with. It is a little buggy. You're supposed to be able to see stars to target, but I just have to kind of blindly target. So I have been playing around with like, ooh, what would look good as a support structure for this? And I don't think this looks very good, but I'm just playing around with things. So anyways, I think that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or join the Discord and chat with me there. And I hope to see you online.